Today on Larry King Now, the multi-talented David Arquette. You play weird people, right?
I do. I mean, they're getting weirder for some reason.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I guess I'm a bit unconventional and people don't really know what box to put me in, but that's all right. You know, there's a list of actors for the big movies, and if you're just not on there, you're typically not going to work as much. So you end up doing these smaller films, which is kind of cool. It's just more of a grind.
You were in Israel a couple years ago.
I was, yeah. I had my bar mitzvah on my 40th birthday, yeah. Getting a bar mitzvah in Israel is kind of like getting married in Las Vegas. You know, they can make it real easy for you.
Plus, is there something people don't know about you?
Oh, I'm sure there's tons.
They've learned a lot here today.
Yeah, don't Google me.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. My special guest is David Arquette. What a career. Actor, writer, director, producer, philanthropist, nightlife impresario. The list goes on and on. He currently stars in Cleaners, about two contract killers who become the targets of an FBI probe. The second season of Cleaners premieres August 19th, exclusively on Crackle. He'll also be seen in upcoming Civil War drama, Field of Lost Shoes. You did a movie about the kidnapping of Frank Sinatra's son, right?
I did, yeah.
I know all about that.
Oh, man. I know. It was such an interesting story.
You played the kidnapper.
Yeah, a guy named Barry something. I forgot his last name. But, yeah, it was a kid who went to school with him in high school, and he got a crazy idea that let's...
Wrong guy to kidnap.
Yeah, exactly. I actually got to meet Frank Sinatra Jr., and he was very gracious about it. He was a very kind.
He's still going on.
He's amazing.
Conducted a band for his father. He's got a great voice.
Yeah, sounds
but
good.
An unfortunate name.
I know.
Right?
I know. It's hard to live under a shadow of such.
What about the Arquette name? Your family, everybody, is in the world of theater, right?
Yeah, we're like fourth generation. It goes back to vaudeville. My grandfather was Cliff Arquette, or Charlie Weaver.
Cliff Arquette?
Yeah, Charlie Weaver.
Your grandfather was Cliff Arquette?
Yeah, absolutely.
Charlie Weaver?
Yes, sir.
One of the funniest people ever.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
It's on the old Hollywood Squares and Jack Parr's show.
Oh, he was tremendous. Was your father in the business, too?
My father was, yeah. He was in films like Waiting for Guffman. He was a improvisational actor for like 45 years.
And the sister, everybody's.
Yeah, Patricia, Rosanna, Alexis, and my brother Richmond's also an actor. All the kids are actors.
What kind of household? Was it competitive?
Well, it was dramatic. There was a lot of laughs, but it was good. I mean, we're all very emotional.
Where are you in the pecking order?
I'm the youngest.
You're the baby.
Yeah.
Little baby David. You may have done the best, though.
Oh, I don't know.
What a life. Let's talk about Cleaners. What attracted you to?
Well, I love the idea of this new digital space. I mean, you're perfecting it. And,
it's a new world.
Yeah, it's great, you know, and people can just download it for free on crackle.com, and just a lot of fun. I love the Paul Layton, the director-writer, was just an amazing guy and wrote a really fun, edgy script that just kind of like, it's nonstop, just.
What's the story about?
It's about these two girls who are like these mercenaries who just, you know, go out and sort of cause trouble. They're kind of, they're not really bad guys, but.
And the FBI's tracking them?
And I'm an FBI agent, and I don't typically get the FBI agent role, so it was a good opportunity.
Yeah, I bet 5 years ago you could not have imagined I'm going to be on Crackle.
No, not at all. I mean, I don't even know if it all existed like
how does it work? Now. You know, I know we're on it.
Yeah.
I know we're on it.
Yeah, you can get it on the, you know. Like,
but how does it get there?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not that guy. But it's cool. I mean, you could get it, like, you can even watch it on your Xbox, you know.
I know, you can walk around the phone. Did you study any of the FBI's work? Did you visit?
I did. I got to go meet with some of the FBI agents at the federal building, and it was pretty interesting just to walk around there and see some of the stuff that they're doing.
What makes the show edgy?
Pretty much the way he shoots it, and the sort of, it's just a lot of action. It's designed for sort of the core audience, which is kind of teenage boys in a sense.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, these two beautiful girls that are just kind of kicking butt, which is kind of cool. And I just kind of get caught up in it all.
You said that the industry is like the economy, that the middle class is obliterated. What did you mean?
Well, nowadays it seems like they're either like super high budget films and or these sort of low, like, you know, minuscule budget films.
There's no $20 million drama.
No, not really. I mean, there are seldomly, but, you know, so it's, you know, there's a list of actors for the big movies, and if you're just not on there, you're typically not going to work as much. So you end up doing these smaller films, which is kind of cool because there's more work out there. It's just not sort of always the same quality, not necessarily quality as much as, you know, it's just more of a grind, really.
Are you always working?
I try to stay busy. I like to act. I just did an AFI film for a young student, you know, just trying to, you know, help her out and just stay active.
And we'll talk about that a little later. What's Field of Lost Shoes?
Field of Lost Shoes is a really interesting story. It's based on a Civil War battle that these kids from the Virginia Military Institute got pulled up when they were like, you know, from 14 to 17, and they got pulled up
for the South.
Toward the end, yeah, for the South, toward the end of the war. And it centers around them, and it follows their journey. I play Captain DuPont, who is for the North. I blow all the kids away. But yeah, I don't know.
You play weird people, right?
I do. I mean, they're getting weirder for some reason.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I guess I'm a bit unconventional, and people don't really know, well, you know, what box to put me in, but that's all right.
There are some people, when they say, we need this kind of offbeat, sort of weird kind of David Arquette.
There you go.
Arquette. You, Billy Bob Thornton, we'll get you all in a room together.
That's right. Oh, that would be a wacko fest. Just get all a bunch of crazies together. I like it.
Coming up,
Billy Bob's amazing.
We're talking about David's recent real-life turn as a teacher and the student who brought him to tears. Stay with us. We're back with David Arquette. He stars in Cleaners, premiering August 19th, its second season. He also recently appeared as a mentor on the Sundance show, Dream School. Tell me about it.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, they take 15 kids who are in danger of dropping out of high school, and they give them sort of an amazing high school experience, so sort of get them re-excited about their education. You know, 50 Cent is one of their mentors, and sort of teaches them the rules, and Susie Orman teaches them finance, and Jesse Jackson teaches them speech, and it's just a really interesting experience.
And how did they enlist you for this?
I'm not exactly sure how I got involved, but it was a great show. I mean, they did a second season, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I was having a baby, so I couldn't be a part of it. But it's really a great group of people, and what they do, you know, out of the 15 kids, I believe 13 of them went on to then, you know, stay in school and graduate.
You get a feeling of fulfillment through them?
Yeah, I mean, I try to learn from, you know, everything going on. So I learned a lot from them as much as they learned from me.
You had a hard time yourself in school, right?
A little bit. I mean, I was a bit of a troublemaker until I found the drama department. And that sort of, I had a great teacher named Ben DeBaldo, and he just kind of gave me direction. So I was like a graffiti writer running around the city. Just
really? Oh, you were a bad kid?
A little bit.
Rowdy.
You know, rowdy, yeah. I mean, I grew up sort of on the other side of Hollywood where, you know, you can bike all around town and, you know, just get into trouble and break dance and do graffiti. And then, you know, when I found the drama department, it gave me sort of structure, and I'd have to rehearse after school and on weekends, and sort of just gave me some focus.
Your sister Alexis is a transsexual, right? You've talked about that.
Yeah. And you
mentored a transgender student.
Yeah.
Oh, well, tell me about that.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I mean, you know, in Dream School, there was this kid named Alan who is transgender, and he was just talking about how difficult it was for him. And I remember just growing up.
He became a boy?
Yeah. And I remember growing up with my sister and just see how cruel kids are. It's sort of like, you know, the root of all
your
trouble.
Your sister was born male, right?
Male, yes.
So your sister was your brother.
Right?
No, how did the family handle that?
We always sort of knew, you know what I mean? So it was pretty easy. I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, I hate to say it, but there's this like, I don't know how to explain it. There's an aspect of my sister that when she's sort of part boy, part girl, it's kind of what I grew up with. I don't know, there's something that seems more authentic to me than when she's a girl, because when she's a girl, it's like she becomes cattier. She gets a little like attitude. I mean, it's kind of weird.
Nerves.
Yeah.
You like her better as a boy.
I like her as the sort of medium girl, but I love her. I mean, that's kind of silly to say. And I love her, and I love her sort of, diva-ness, but it comes out.
Now, what about the student you helped? Did it bring you to tears?
It did, yeah. I mean, that scene, just talking about it and seeing how painful it was for him and remembering how painful it was for my sister.
You wrote a Huffington Post op-ed about your experience on Dream School, right?
Yeah.
And you said you're trying to play something called the kindness game. Is that rare for you?
Oh, it's not that easy. I mean, I tried my best, but, sometimes life gets in the way. But yeah, I mean, I try to treat everybody, equal, I think of it as like, you always look each other in the eye. You never look down on anyone. You never look up and worship anyone. Everybody's on equal. And when you start thinking on those terms, it just puts things in perspective. You catch yourself not, getting too big ahead.
You look at like Israel and Gaza and all that. Why do people kill each other? It boggles. Why?
I mean,
I can't understand it.
To me, I just had a new baby, and he's 3.5 months, and I look into his eyes, and I had this amazing experience where I was looking into his eyes, and I was like, oh my God. And I felt like all the people from my past, all the kind, like loving people that, my mom and dad and all these different people, and I was like, oh, they can see me through his eyes right now. And just little moments like that, and like how much you love a child. And just if people could somehow understand that no matter what side you're on, those are children, there's somebody's child. And a lot of the hatred that comes from it is from the loss of that love. If their son or daughter died in the struggle, and just, all that love they had for him just kind of flips upside down and becomes all this hate. But it's a nonstop cycle, yeah. I mean.
Truly true. You were in Israel a couple years ago.
I was, yeah. I had my bar mitzvah on my 40th birthday, yeah.
You're Jewish?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you convert, your father or your mother?
My mother is Jewish, yeah. My father converted to Islam, actually. I was born on a commune in Virginia, which was based on a Indonesian philosophy that was wrapped around sort of Hindu, Buddhism, and Islam. So, and then my mother was Jewish and my father was Christian, so we had a big melting pot of sort of philosophy.
But if your mother's Jewish, you're Jewish.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're automatically a citizen of Israel if you so desire.
Yeah.
Well, what was it like to be bar mitzvahed?
Oh, it was great. It was at the Wailing Wall, and I sort of did I kind of say, getting a bar mitzvah in Israel is kind of like getting married in Las Vegas. They can make it real easy for you, and you don't have to study for months and months. But it was an honor, and to be there in such a powerful place.
Do you speak out on the Middle East at all?
I mean, I try not to. It's not my favorite when actors kind of get into all that. But I feel for the innocent people in the crossfire is just horrible.
Casualties of war, I hate that term.
Yeah.
Up next, we're talking about fatherhood, family, and one of my favorite people, Craig Ferguson, after this. We're back with David Arquette. He stars in Cleaners. It's the second season, will debut August 19th exclusively on Crackle. You had a baby with your fiancé, and you have a 10-year-old with your ex, Courteney Cox. That's a very friendly divorce, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're partners, right?
Yeah, we have a production company together, and we have a child together. So
does that bug your fiancé?
No, not at all. I mean, sometimes life happens. I mean, it gets a little, tricky sometimes, but you just have to talk about it.
And you do you share the child? No,
yeah,
it's a boy or girl?
It's a girl, Coco. She's 10 years old. She's amazing.
And then you formed did you have a production company when you were married, or you formed?
Yeah, we had a production company when we were married, and we love working together, and we're still really close friends, and we have a development deal at ABC, so we're producing Cougar Town right now, and she's on her I think it's like the 6th season coming up.
That's a hit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now tell me about the Craig Ferguson deal, Celebrity Name Game. How
Yeah.
you got involved with my buddy Craig?
Oh, he's the best. We produced this show called Celebrity Name Game 3 years ago, and we did the pilot, and it just kind of sat around. We tried to get interested in it, and finally, Debmar Mercury, an amazing company, and Fremantle picked it up, and they really know sort of the game show space. So they, you know, we had Craig, and Craig's just this incredible host who just keeps it super light, and it's a lot of fun. It's, you know, a half-hour show that just really flies.
Wait a minute. It was 3 years ago, so while he was doing Late Late Show, he did this, yeah?
Yeah.
And the pilot sat around, and now you produced episodes.
Now we're doing like 80 episodes. It's.
And where's it air?
It's gonna be it's syndicated, so it'll be like next to Family Feud.
What is the way it works?
Oh, it's just like the parlor game Celebrity, where you say, you know, he wears suspenders and he's on CNN, and you know, he's one of the great interviewers of the time, Larry King.
What about your nightclubs?
Yeah, I have a nightclub called Bootsy Bellows, which is it's a
Bootsy Bellows.
Bootsy Bellows, yeah. We call it Bootsy's, but yeah, it's named after my mother, who she was a pinup model, and for a short period of time, I was going through this book called I Was a 50s Pinup, and I came across a naked picture of my mom, and she was still alive at the time. And I said, Mom, look at these pictures. And there were 4 pictures of her like having a cat fight with another girl. And she was like, oh, David, we weren't really fighting. I was like, I'm not really worried about that, Mom. You're naked in this magazine. And she's like, yeah. I was like, well, did you ever strip? You know, did you? And she's like, well, I did burlesque dance. I said, did you have a name? And she said it was Bootsy Bellows. So that's why we named it. And it's a pretty fun place. I mean, we
where is it? No.
It's right on Sunset Boulevard across from Boa. And,
you got that place across.
Yeah,
That's a hit place.
Yeah.
That's your place.
Yeah,
Bruce.
it's a big place, and
David, you ever,
puppets and all kinds of crazy stuff.
David, you ever think you've had a weird life?
I do. I have. I mean, I was the WCW heavyweight champion of the world. It doesn't get any weirder than that.
You were sober for some time, and then I heard you called Howard Stern and you drank again.
Yeah.
Why is this funny?
What? I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I was sober for like 2.5 years, and
Were you an alcoholic?
Am I?
Were you, or are you?
Yeah, I am. I guess you always are. You know, once you sort of.
Why did you go back?
I don't know, man. It's much easier to be sober. I mean, as hard as it is, life's easier. You're just sort of more accountable and sort of more on your game. But there's also a fun factor that I was missing, and I'm a bit of a wild child, so. You know, I try to keep it all in check. But
So by keeping in check, you're a functioning alcoholic?
I guess so, yeah.
Do you go on binges?
No, I don't go on binges.
What does your fiance think about it? What does Courtney think about it?
They're pretty cool. I mean, you know, things get life gets complicated sometimes. So, you know, but
You ever work while drinking?
Only if it's in the scene. If you're, you know, but no. If you're like partying in the scene, you're wild, yeah. I mean, I did this one movie called The Key. It was pretty wild. There was some wild, like, you had to, sometimes if you have like sex scenes or something.
So when you read the script that says, actor drinks, that's a good day for you. But it's not funny. It could be serious. You know, I mean, you don't drive and drink.
No, never drive and drink. That's pretty good about that.
I love that. That club is great across from Boa. That's yours, Bootsy.
Yeah.
And they rent it out for parties, too.
Yeah, we rent it out for parties. It's a good time.
Who was David's childhood celebrity crush? We'll find out after the break, plus he'll answer your social media questions. Stay with us.
Who was my childhood celebrity crush?
We're back with David Arquette. Don't forget, Cleaners, August 19th, premiere of the 2nd season on Crackle. You're involved with many charities. Tell me about OPCC, Ocean Park Community Center.
OPCC is amazing. It's the largest sort of community center on the west side that deals with homeless relief. And, you know, it's a battered women's shelter, and they just really are soups to nuts, everything you need. They have a 95% success rate of getting people off the streets. So once you get into their system, the first thing they do when you show up is they give you a locker, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're homeless and you don't have anywhere to put your stuff, it's an incredible thing. So you put your stuff away, then they give you a shower. Then if you want to get in the whole thing, they'll feed you, they'll get you into the system, they'll try to find you housing, they'll get you, mental health help.
How'd you get involved?
I got involved through Feeding America, which is the nation's largest hunger relief organization. I worked with them for 3 years, and we did a lot of great work there. And then I sort of got more involved on a community level.
Oh, we have some social media questions for you.
Yes, sir.
Bryson Knox on Facebook. Any future Scream films for you?
I love doing them, and it was a lot of fun, but I don't think so after the last one.
At Chelsea Teaking, how's Celebrity Name Game going, and how awesome is Craig Ferguson?
He's the greatest. I mean, there's no one who's as light as him and just thinks on his toes, and he's such a great guy. Spirit. Yeah, really fun. Like, it's just a fun show, and it's especially because of him.
When will it air? This fall?
I think in September.
Pablo Rancho via Facebook. I read that you were born to a Christian mother, Jewish father, who later became a Muslim. Have you ever dabbled in Scientology?
No, I've never dabbled in it, but I know a lot of Scientologists, and they're really stand-up people. There's an accountability with their sort of philosophy that I really appreciate.
They get a lot of bad raps.
They do. But all the folks I know are really stand-up people.
At Carlton Smith tweets, what do you think the public perception of you is? And does it jive with what you consider yourself to be?
I don't know. I just went to a concert last night. It was really fun just walking in, because people treat me more like I'm their buddy, which is fun. It's not like, I don't think there's the same sort of like, I don't know, it doesn't seem as sort of, it's different. Like if I'm going out with my ex and they see Courtney, there's a sort of like, and it's obviously she was on Friends and she's a huge star. So there's a wow factor. But when it's me, they're like, hey, David, what's up, buddy? Like, people are like yelling at me, joking about, but that's kind of what I like. And that's how I hope people see me. I try to be as honest and real as possible. I try not to sort of play the fake game.
You're you. What's it like having a 10-year-old girl and a 3-month-old boy?
It's a lot harder. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I'm talking to you.
I've got it.
Yeah, it's harder after 10 years. Okay,
here we go.
Harder to stay up.
Little game called If You Only Knew. Who was the first girl you ever kissed?
I think her name was Helena.
Helena?
Helena, yes.
How old were you, David?
I was young. I was like 4 or 5.
School, around school, at home?
Yeah, around. I was friends to the family.
What's a guilty pleasure you have?
Guilty pleasure, golf. I love golf.
You're stuck on a desert island. What 3 things you want with you?
3 things. My kids and my girl.
Characteristic you most appreciate in other people?
Kindness and just not being judgmental.
Me too. Dream role. Is there a part you would like to play or have played? I'm
not exactly sure. I mean, there's a film I wrote that I would just love to get made rather than a role specifically.
Are you trying?
Yeah, I mean, it took us 4.5 years to write the script, and then I wrote it with Cliff Dorfman, who's an amazing writer. He wrote the film Warrior. So it's just hard to get people to read in Hollywood.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
I'd be like, just be able to like
fly,
love, just send love throughout the world.
Solve the problem, yeah.
Just.
I'd like to be invisible.
What's really?
Yeah. Oh my God. Think of the fun you.
Look at you. Oh, I didn't think like that.
Most underrated thing. What's the most underrated thing about Los Angeles?
The most underrated thing about Los Angeles, that people think it doesn't have a history, but there's an incredible history behind it. And the most underrated is that, people say that, people in LA are fake. When you really grow up in LA and you know people, it's more like
it's a great downtown.
City. Boy, absolutely.
It's a beautiful skyline.
Yeah.
It's knocked a lot, and it's a great downtown.
Yeah, and when you go downtown, it's like you're actually in like a metropolis city.
Yeah, it's a city. Proudest achievement?
My children, really.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 43. I'm almost 43.
That's
Yeah.
in the prime of life. I have ties older than you. Is there something people don't know about you?
Oh, I'm sure there's
I think
tons.
they've learned a lot here today.
Yeah, don't Google me.
David, thanks, man.
Hey, thanks for everything.
Thanks to my guest, David Arquette. Cleaners premieres August 19th exclusively on Crackle, and you can find me on Twitter at King's Things, and I'll see you next time. What a life.